Shanika with Fitness Wildflower, and welcome to my channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. So today I am talking to my good friend, Kim Brown, who's a vegan, and we are talking about being vegan. So if you don't know, veganism is basically when you eliminate animal products. So that means no eggs, no dairy, no honey, because honey does come from bees, and you basically eat more plant-based foods. So Kim has been so gracious to give me tips on how to eat more vegan and how to prepare more vegan type meals. And I wanted to share that with you guys today. So Kim, thank you so much for joining me, girlfriend.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Aw. So Kim, how long have you been vegan?
Okay, so this is a long story, but I'll shorten it up.
Okay.
First, I want to start off with I've been a vegetarian for over 20 years.
Wow.
And I transitioned into veganism within the past 3 years. So it was a transition for me, which is why I can relate with people that really don't, they hesitate one way or the other because they don't have the knowledge or they don't have the understanding, or they just feel like they can't let something go. And I just think that the way I transitioned really, helped me relate with those that have that struggle or the challenge, because it's genuine.
Yeah, I can definitely feel you on that. So you were vegetarian first,
Yes.
and you became vegan. So what steps did you take to become vegan? Was it like just eliminating this one thing, or how did you do that?
Absolutely. If you don't mind, I just wanted to share what made me become a vegetarian in the first place. Genuinely was compassion. And it just all boiled down to compassion. And I happened to be interested in the medical field, and they were talking about, vegetarians and vegans need to be careful because they're not getting their iron and they're not getting their protein. And number one, I tell people, please do your own research, because a lot of the education is coming from the last person that they heard, and then the last person that they heard, but they never actually read why that is said or stated. So mine was compassion. And the only answer I wanted to know, and put a little God in it, was, God, can I survive on vegetables? I just wanted to survive.
Right.
I didn't care if, if I needed every nutrition. I just wanted to make sure I could survive.
Right.
So I found out through my learning, reading, and things in nature, that actually you can survive on plants. This was years ago, back in the 90s, but you cannot survive on animal product alone, because plants offer so many nutrients and minerals that the animal just genuinely do not offer.
Yeah.
And without flooding this video, it's so much that goes into that the only thing that you get from animals that people make a big deal about is the protein and the heme iron, and they say the vitamin B12. If you do your research, the animals are getting that from the plants. So they're breaking it down and metabolizing it just the way a human being would break it down and metabolize it. Now, the only difference is with the iron, the reason why it's heme is because the animal already broke it down for you. So you're getting it quicker and faster. But if you're a person like me who says, that's okay, I'll go with nature and I'll have my own body break down the iron. They're really, once you learn how to get all your nutrients, your minerals, and things and such that you need, it just becomes a point of preference, versus your nutrients that you're trying to get. So
wow,
I hope that
girl,
answers the question.
Yeah, it does, girl. You just preached a sermon when you said the animal eats the plant.
Yes.
And then, so yeah, that's really key, because I don't think people really think about that, like what that animal has been eating. So that's really key, and that's really important. So I'm
Yes.
glad you brought that up. So Kim, you mentioned heme. What exactly is that?
It's iron, actually.
Okay. Okay.
Heme iron and non-heme iron. And I'm glad you asked that.
Mhm.
And I was saying that, the way we're created, all living beings, we metabolize the foods that we eat. So the animals do us, if we eat the animal, they're doing us a favor, I guess, is they eat it from the plants and they metabolize it for you. So if we eat them, we're eating the metabolized iron, which is the heme iron.
Oh, that makes
And
sense.
we do the exact same thing with plants.
Wow. Wow. So what you're saying is we could get our iron directly from the plants.
Absolutely. And it's a
Wow.
process, and they say, the argument is, oh, you want the heme iron because you get the blood, you get it quicker into the blood. And I'm
Mhm.
just thinking to myself, I don't know if the body really cares.
Yeah.
The body just wants the nutrients and minerals that it
Right.
needs,
Right. As long as the
as
body gets it.
long as the body gets it.
That makes sense. That makes
Yes,
sense. So since you've gone from being vegetarian to vegan, have you
yes,
seen any benefits of the vegan diet versus the vegetarian diet? And let's go back a step further from the
yes.
vegetarian, from being, I guess, a carnivore to being a
Yep.
vegetarian to being a
Yes.
vegan. How have you seen changes in your body, your mind, your spirit, all of that?
Absolutely. So it's so funny. What got me started to even being a vegetarian was I went to a state farm in Columbus, in
Mhm.
Ohio State Farm.
Mhm.
And everyone always told me that cows were dumb. Oh, they're
Mm.
dumb. And, animals don't have brains and this and that.
Wow.
I know this is what I was told to get by just so that I could have a conscience.
Right,
So I
right.
went so I went to a state farm
Mhm.
and I saw these animals and I decided this cow kept, looking over at me and I decided to reach out to the cow and the cow licked my hand. And I
Yeah.
thought, you know, okay, well that's interesting. And I said, well maybe it was just that he thought I was, something to lick or eat. So
Right.
let me
He
try it
thought you was some
again.
hay.
Yeah, right. Thought I was some hay. And it's like, okay, well then and then I put my hand, it was just like a connection.
Yeah.
And I put my hand on the cow's face and the cow understood I couldn't believe that it understood my nonverbal communication. And
Yeah.
that got at me. And I just said,
Yeah.
no, you know what? This cow is smarter than I'm giving it credit for. I
Yeah.
watched it. I paid attention to how it was communicating with the other animals and how the other animals. And I've never lived on a farm. I'm a true city girl. Okay, so
Yeah.
so you have to forgive my ignorance at that time
Yeah.
of just not understanding that animals are actually pretty smart.
Mm-hmm.
And just for that for me alone, why don't they have a right to live? That's just me.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was the only, I mean, if we all can think and have a brain, why don't we have a right to live?
Yeah.
That's just how I thought about it. So
Yeah.
the difference is I had problems as a child and didn't even know it. I had eczema. I
Mm.
had esophagus problems where I would, spit up my food, and I was
Yeah.
always, um, gagging or, dry heaving, in other
Yeah.
words. So when I switched over to vegetarian,
Mhm.
oh, and this may be TMI, but I'm gonna be genuine and put it all
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
I had problems using the restroom,
Yeah.
and my parents, were so concerned. They had to take me to the doctor, because they
Mhm.
didn't understand why I was not passing my waist.
Mm.
This happened. They had to give me prune juice and all this stuff. But it's funny that they never suggested more meat. It's just
Huh.
interesting how that went
Right.
down. They wanted me to, help eliminate, but they never told my parents, oh, give her more meat.
Right.
They suggested beans and beet juice and
Mm.
prune juice, which
Right.
had nothing to do with the animal. for me to eliminate. But when
Mhm.
I eliminated that, I was able to finally use the restroom in a normal manner,
Wow.
just like everyone else, or
Right.
the way people had said that they were.
Mhm.
And now from the vegetarian to the vegan,
Mhm.
like I said, I suffered from eczema. And then I also, as the older I got, I started suffering from gas problems in my belly, like
Oh,
bubble,
wow.
bubble, bubble. And
Right.
I I admit that while I was trying to transfer over to vegan, for compassion reasons, because I
Mhm.
started to learn how the cows were, being treated and things in
Yeah.
that nature. I said, well, I feel sorry for the cows. I can't even drink their milk, because I felt sorry
Yeah.
for the cows. But actually, I shouldn't have been drinking the milk anyway, because I
Mhm.
was having lactose problems. But here I am
Mm.
complaining to my friends, like, I'm feeling gassy and bloated. And they were like, well, maybe you should exercise more. And maybe you should do, And I was like, yeah. But knowing I cheated and I ate some cheese because I couldn't get away from cheese. I
Uh-huh.
ate some ice cream. I couldn't get away from ice cream.
Uh-huh.
I had some sort of dairy in it.
Right.
Lo and behold, when I eliminated the dairy, I had no more eczema or struggle
Wow.
with that, and I had no more gas problems, because a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm lactose intolerant." Well, I did a study and found that most people are lactose intolerant.
Mhm.
Little
Mhm.
do we know, just like we
Right.
shouldn't be eating gluten, but
Right.
we're eating gluten.
Right.
So the same
Right.
thing applies to the uh, the dairy, which is the casein in it, the protein that we cannot digest. And
Wow.
yes, so it again, it's just education that I don't expect the majority to have,
Mhm.
but that
Right.
I've developed through reading and research.
Right. That's some good stuff, Kim. I'm just going to stop right here and say I am so glad you're in my life
Oh,
because since you've done the research, if I have a question, instead of me Googling it, you will be my Google.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Nice. Nice. So what about like meal prep? I know you are a busy woman, you're on the go, and I'm just thinking about like my life and how, if I'm out somewhere, I'm like, I'm looking for something healthy, and that something healthy may have gluten, it may have lactose, it may have meat in it. So how do you manage, so to speak, being a vegan and being on the go? How do you manage that?
Absolutely. I'm not going to lie and say it's easy, because majority of the restaurants are just not catered, to the vegan diet.
Mhm.
However, it's changing. I'm starting to find, things out and about, where it does cater to the vegan diet. But I suggest for people, when you make that decision, first of all, be kind to yourself.
Mm.
It just, let's start off with that. So, to meal prep, you have to plan ahead. And
Mm.
for an example, you can cut up cherry tomatoes. And I also want to back up and say this before I go any further. We're going to have to get in the mindset of living a quality of life. It depends on what you want to do. If you want to live a quality of life, you just have to take that initiative and put the time into it. I'm sorry, guys, there's no easy way out. And just really put your mind to it and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. So the
Mhm.
easiest way I go about it is I look at nature. What did God intend, or what did nature intend,
Mhm.
whichever you can relate to?
Mhm.
And if it's off the tree, as like for an example, an apple, perfect. If it's, grown out of the ground, perfect. Okay, so for an example, plan ahead. And I was starting to say, like, cherry tomatoes are one of like my favorites. I would cut those up,
Mhm.
put them in a container. Another thing I would do is, slice up carrots, blueberries, nuts and seeds. I love sunflower seeds and
Mhm.
goji berries. That's like one of
Mm.
my favorite like a little sweet and salty.
Yes, I
You get
love
them
goji
like,
berries.
yes, if you mix it in together, kind of, shake it up and, eat that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite to go snacks.
Mhm.
As I was mentioning, cut up carrots, blueberries, and apples are hard to travel. So I'm kind of a little bit limited on that because they oxidize and they turn brown. It just doesn't
Mhm.
look appealing.
Yeah.
So, celery, and I started to say hummus, but you can make hummus and it's so simple. I tell people, which you probably already know how to make it, homemade, but
No, as a matter of fact, I think that's gonna be my next video. You teaching me how to make hummus.
yes, and you can make it to your liking. Basically, the base of the hummus that you make are garbanzo beans or chickpeas. And the easiest, because I'm a woman on the go, I don't have a whole lot of time to soak my beans.
Yeah.
So I do buy them in organic can, and BPA free lining. I do look for that.
Yeah.
Garbanzo beans. I wish I had an example to show you, but Kroger is big for it. And then you dump it into a NutriBlend or a blender. It's fine because they're soft enough. And then you put, some oil, water, and you could put tahini sauce if you like. And then you start taking it from there from your flavor. Do you like garlic? You can put a little garlic in there. If you don't like garlic, you can eliminate that. You could put, sea salt. You could put, a little red peppers in it if you like the little red pepper flavor. But the basis is just the garbanzo beans, the oil, the tahini sauce. Those are the three bases to make your garbanzo beans.
Okay.
Make your
Hummus.
Your hummus. Thank you.
No problem.
And I put that, and it lasts for like 3 to 4 days. You put it in a container, you put it in your refrigerator. Yes.
Okay.
And for 3 to 4 days. And I use it to, I buy almond crackers. They're just almond crackers,
Yeah.
And I dip it into the hummus and eat it. I do the vegetables, which would be the peppers, the celery. You can even do tomatoes.
Yeah.
Whatever, and experiment. Whatever you're like, I want to try this. And then you try it and you're like, this is not so bad. Like my girls have taught me, how to make caramel, and I didn't even put any, I was like, how do you make vegan caramel? My daughter taught me maple syrup and tahini mixed together, and then you stir it up and you come out with like a caramel flavoring. So you have the sweet and the tahini. My girls taught me that. So I was like, I'm impressed.
Wow. Look.
So that's one example.
Go ahead. Wow. Look, I'm impressed that you're not only a busy woman, but you're a busy mom with 2 kids. Are they vegan as well?
That's a little bit of a struggle for kids.
Okay.
They started off as vegetarians, and because I switched over to vegan within the past 3 years, maybe even 4 years, they're still transitioning because they really like that cheese pizza.
Okay.
And they really like grilled cheese sandwich, but they don't drink milk straight. They never drink milk straight.
Okay.
Just sharing a little more, they were, breastfed, and then I switched them over, to alternative milk.
Okay. So what kind of milk? I'm just curious. What kind of milk did you give your girls?
Absolutely. Hemp milk, coconut milk, almond milk. We don't do soy.
Okay.
I'm hearing the conflicts about soy.
Yeah.
So soy is out. And hemp milk, you can buy hemp seeds, and you put like a tablespoon of hemp seeds, and then like half a cup of water, and you can do maple syrup to sweeten it up, and get all kinds of nutrition. Your baby, once you switch them over, when they're old enough, they are getting nutrition that you would never imagine, which is, the protein and iron that is in hemp seeds that no one knows about. And my children are already getting that.
Nice.
And they love the hemp milk.
Nice. Girl, you're about to make me go out and buy some hemp milk myself. Nice. This is really good stuff, Kim. So, busy mom, working mom, kids, husband. So is your husband vegan as well?
No, he's not. And he's so cute. He's a chef by trade. So it's amazing how he helps me prep all these vegan meals and all these vegan foods and everything. Yeah, it's so cute. But he has not switched over to veganism. He still kind of just, resorts back. So the main goal is that, we have in our family is respect. And
Mm,
that's something that I take with me when I'm talking to people about me being a vegan.
right,
Definitely, I respect. If you eat meat, I definitely respect it. I know where you're coming from. It's a diet that's been passed down from generation to generation.
right,
So it's not like you could wake up and say, I'm going to do this differently.
right. Just wave the
You
magic
know,
wand. Bing.
exactly. So yes, so he does eat meat, maybe not to the extent of, you know, we ate when we were, all meat eaters, where we would eat meat in every single meal. It's
Right.
like once or twice a week, and he has eliminated it throughout the years. Like,
Oh, that's good.
yes, more and more. So, absolutely. So
Nice.
no, he eats meat. The girls still eat their cheese.
Hmm.
Um, I'm the only one that went for it.
Completely vegan.
I just
Nice.
went completely vegan.
Nice. And that just shows that, like you said earlier, you have to have a commitment. You have to be committed to it, and you have to think about, what is it that I want out of life, and you just have to really be committed to your health and wellness. And I certainly applaud you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, girl. So you mentioned the hummus. So, you're in a rush, hummus is a good thing to have when you're in a rush. What are some other like give me like one like a vegan lunch that you can prepare in a rush, and a vegan dinner that you can prepare in a rush?
A vegan lunch that you could prepare in a hurry
Hmm.
is, I always say, go raw. It's the
Mm,
easiest way to go about it. Just, or if you want to prep ahead of time and just do the smoothies, go ahead and just get them all into the different type of foods that you
mm,
want. For an example, if you want to do kale, apples and oranges, and then maybe even spinach, you could do that and just have it ready in the refrigerator. If you go ahead and blend them over the weekend, prepping before, you can leave them in the mason jar with the lid tight, and they
mm.
will last 3 to 4 days. That's not,
Okay.
and sometimes maybe even up to 5 days. I have done that because I've been way busy. So I would start the smoothie, do the smoothie over the weekend and have them in my refrigerator in mason jars lined up, ready to go. As far as a lunch, and I was saying meal prep,
Hmm.
things that you can grab. Anything that can make it, that comes to your mind that makes a salad. You could do avocados.
Mm.
You could, as I was mentioning before, the garbanzo beans in a can. You could put them avocados, garbanzo beans in a can. Have some already pre-made, prepped, cut up peppers. And if you,
Mm.
and it depends on how much of a hurry you're in, because I know what it's like to be in a hurry.
Mm.
That's why now, if I was in a complete hurry and I was unprepared, I'm trying to think of like how life is, and I'm off to rushing.
Right.
I would definitely get an alternative milk,
Okay.
so it can, you can get some nutrients from that alternative milk.
Okay.
Hemp milk. I love hemp milk. That's at the top of the list as far. Coconut milk, another
Yeah.
one at the top of the list. It's really good. And nut milk. You can get any type of nut
Mm.
milk, the almond milk, walnut milk, cashew milk. Those are good for you as well. So
Mm.
grab that, grab your tomatoes, you can grab your celery, you can grab your carrots and your hummus,
Okay.
and hopefully maybe some crackers if you want to do some sort of carbohydrate,
Okay.
if you're in a hurry.
Right.
But I always suggest, please plan ahead, have them in little bowls set in your refrigerator ready to go. I do that with my girls all the time, and they grab their own little, they're so cute too, and they pick and
Yeah.
choose if they want blueberries, raspberries. It's already in the refrigerator. You just have to be organized.
Nice. So Kim, quick question. So what kind of research did you do in order to learn more about being a vegan?
Absolutely. So my background is, I'm a licensed medical technologist. That's what my background is in, and it's helped me learn how to find studies in such
Mm.
natures about how much nutrients and minerals and vitamins you can get into a body. So I was able to pull studies. Just having that background helped me further myself along, and also to provide information as I learn and go along. I can share with others and have them and help them bounce off how you can find those clinical studies and things in that nature to move further. So Yes, that's
Nice.
how I got my research.
Nice. So Kim, this has been so good. So one last thing, what would be 3 tips that you would give someone who's interested in becoming vegan?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm glad you asked me that question because this is something that I thought about over and over. The
Mhm.
first thing I, had mentioned a little bit earlier in the conversation is that be patient with yourself, forgive yourself, and make
Mm,
sure you do your research. Please just, hey, start with Googling.
yeah.
YouTube. YouTube is, you could do YouTube. And then when I say do your research, look at studies. I know
Mm,
that they can sometimes be, a little bit overbearing and overwhelming, but there are ways that you can kind of just take the time and just read a little bit on, well, how many people have succeeded on this diet, or what would have been the disadvantages and the advantages. Just make sure you do your research. For an example, like I did with the non-heme and heme, and how it came from the animal, how it processed and metabolized for you. Hey, I have compassion for animals. I'll break down my own iron. So that's an example. Number two, um, that I would say is to eliminate slowly. Don't be
mm,
in a hurry. Just say, oh, you know what? I'm gonna eliminate chicken this week. I'm gonna see how that goes for me. Or I'm gonna
mm,
eliminate fish this week, or I'm gonna eliminate cow this week, and then build on that. So you
mhm,
did chicken last week, do chicken and fish the next week, and do chicken, fish, and beef the third week, and just see how that works for you. And if it doesn't and you fall back and you eat it, that's okay. Like I said,
mm,
number one, forgive yourself, be patient. And then number three, as you mentioned,
mhm.
Shanika, earlier, stay focused on why you're doing it. What is the reason why you're doing it? Are you doing it for health reasons? Are you doing it for compassion reasons, or both?
Yeah.
Um, if you're focused, and that's what I had to stay focused on, because I admit, I slid back a couple of times, as I was making my progression.
Let me
And
guess,
I
was it
said,
cheese?
yes, it was cheese and ice cream. I was like,
That cheese and ice cream will get you every time, okay?
no, especially when you have kids that, they're vegetarian. I'm like,
Oh
that
my
looks
God.
good.
Like, give me a bite of that cheese pizza.
And then when I remembered my focus, I said, oh, yes, this is why I've done.
Your why.
Yes.
Yeah.
And those are the three things, patient and research, elimination, and your focus on why.
Nice. Nice. Kim, this has been so awesome. As a matter of fact, you have like inspired me to eat more vegan, to just, I try to keep, keep vegetables in heavy rotation in all my meals, but you're definitely an inspiration. So I just wanted to say that and to thank you again for sharing not only with me but with everybody watching, ways that we can be healthier and and eat more plant-based. So thanks so much, Kim, for joining me. I appreciate
Oh,
you, girl.
you're so welcome.
Yeah. And thank you guys. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you. Have a good day.